Joining us now, NBC's White House correspondent, Aaron Gilchrist, and former Republican governor from Ohio, John Kasich. He is an MSNBC political analyst. So, Aaron, how's the White House reacting to this latest Supreme Court order?
Well, Jose, this is exactly the order that the White House wanted to see as it's been undertaking these efforts to really cut spending. As it relates to the foreign aid dollars, that was something that was undertaken very early on. The administration put a hold on that. We saw aid organizations go to the courts and say that they were going to suffer irreparably in some cases if this money flow were to stop. And the lower courts told the administration they needed to reinstate some of this funding to keep these organizations solvent. There was a complaint that the administration ignored the court order. And now it all seems a bit of a moot point, Jose. I think it's worth pointing out that the administration now says that it's reviewed all of the foreign aid that was being sent out from USAID, from the State Department. And at this point, they've identified 15,000 grants totaling $60 billion for elimination. Now, the Supreme Court order says that they could continue that freeze on dollars while there was an ask for the plaintiffs in this case to submit paperwork to the Supreme Court by tomorrow midday. Now, it seems as though, Jose, the administration has decided exactly which programs, which grants it wants to get rid of altogether. And so we'll see if there's more that the Supreme Court has to say about this, given this new reality from the State Department.
And Aaron, so just
House.
give us, sorry to interrupt, but just those numbers again. It's 15,000 grants identified that are going to be cut, and the total savings just on that is how much?
In the neighborhood of $60 billion, Jose.
And Aaron, so the efforts of the White House continue to shrink the federal workforce in other ways and through other aspects. What is that looking like?
Well, Jose, we saw this memo from the Office of Personnel Management and Management and Budget that came out yesterday. We've been going through it, and this is basically the blueprint for federal agencies to comply with executive orders that had already been signed around a reduction in force, meaning shrinking the workforce of the federal government, and the directive to reorganize agencies. Those two offices are telling the department heads that these are the things you need to do in order to meet the president's expectations. And that means that they're in this phase one where these agencies need to submit their plans in about 2 weeks' time. The focus is supposed to be on initial cuts and initial reductions, with the idea being that there would be a maximum elimination of functions not required by law. That's the language in this memo. And so that means that you're going to start to see huge numbers from each of the federal agencies, huge numbers of employees being targeted for cuts over the next couple of months. The second phase of this effort is supposed to be one that looks at how to make these agencies more productive going forward. They'll have until mid-April to submit that part of their plans. And Jose, in that case, we understand the expectation is that they're going to look at every person who's working in these agencies, their job descriptions, their performance reviews, and making decisions about who can go, what positions really aren't necessary to the mission of the federal government. They're also going to have to look at, Jose, the physical plant, the real estate that the federal government owns, and whether some of that needs to go away, particularly here in Washington, moving headquarters potentially to other cheaper parts of the country.
John, just your thoughts on this. I mean, and first let's focus on this Supreme Court order. What does that mean in real terms for the Trump administration's efforts? And just when we hear Aaron just talk about just how broad this attempt is, and it's going to be going forward, it's not just like a one-off.
Well, it seems to me, Jose, as we look at this whole landscape here, John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and I happen to think Amy Coney Barrett are probably two crucial people on that court who are going to decide what is the power of the executive branch and what is not. And I got to tell you, Jose, the Congress of the United States has abandoned their authority. And they have done it not just today, but they have done it over time. So in a vacuum, the executive just has been able to fill the power there, and the administration is the first one that's taken advantage of it. As to how far they can go and what are the rights of the Congress, that's going to be something this court's going to decide. And I hope that the Congress is going to get some of its power back. But Jose, you tell me how they're going to get their power back when you can't hear a peep out of them on anything, except when they go to a town hall and somebody yells at them. Now, at the same time I say all that, Jose, look, I faced, I was the chairman to balance the federal budget. I did it in Ohio when we were running massive deficits, but we did not fix it by just firing people. We did it through buyouts, and we did it through when people left, when they retired, we didn't fill the position. The idea of just going in and firing all these people, I'm not convinced that's the right way to do things. Plus, it creates morale problems. It also puts people in a very difficult position to go home, tell their family they lost their jobs. But the idea of having the cabinet members who are in a position to be able to analyze the operation of their agency and to come up with ways to save money, I'm all for, because we can't continue to add trillions, even though it looks as though these budget resolutions are going to add trillions. At the same time, we need more efficiency. But I like it to come from the bottom up. These people in the government, many of them, they are committed to doing a good job, and they want to see greater efficiency inside their operation. It's just not people on the outside who are yelling at them.
Yeah, and I mean, interesting you were talking about Chief Justice Roberts and his role and, responsibilities. It's
massive.
It reminded me of what his role was in the ACA. I mean,
yeah.
he was really the key voice in many ways on the decisions about, Obamacare. And John, I'm just wondering, and we saw yesterday that the President Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, met with Senate Republicans to talk about these kinds of issues, Elon Musk's efforts with Doge. Here's how Senator Tommy Tuberville reacted to some of those cuts.
Well, everybody's concerned when you have people cut out of your state, but we all understand that's just part of it. We're way overbloated. We got to cut back.
Who do you think, John, is politically winning this debate so far?
I think that the people in this country are saying shake it up. And they have not gotten to the point yet where they look specifically at a program and say that went too far. For example, the foreign aid program that is delivering care for people who are, on the edge of death, the PEPFAR program, those kinds of things that are saving lives in Africa, those are programs that we should not be eliminating. Those are crucial, not only from a humanitarian point of view, but also from a foreign policy point of view. When we do good things, people see us and they like us, and we're not buying their favor. It's just the right thing to do. At the same time, Jose, there's been a lot of talk about Medicaid, and I can tell you that providers in the Medicaid program, sometimes they get their snouts in the trough. That means we can reduce the growth of Medicaid without hurting people if we do it the right way. If we just go in and chop people, that is not the right way to do it. But we have to deal with this national debt, because your children and grandchildren will pay the price if we do not.